All right, what's going on, everyone? We are live. Happy Monday. Hope you all had a fantastic weekend. And this is the Unconventional Mindset. My name's Odu. And let's get to it. We're trying to build ourselves $1 million company. More specifically, a company that generates us $1 million in revenue every single year. I need to fix this. That is so squeaky. What can you do? Gotta get some kind of grease, because you can't just WD-40 this stuff or it's gonna make it worse. Yeah, I'll get rid of the sound, but I won't actually fix the. It just needs some proper oil. Anyways, yeah, so that's what we're trying to do, and we're building Piixel Pieces, which is our Webflow component and template library, which I guess is also part of Piixel, which is kind of our web design company. And I've been trying to think a lot lately about how to tie this stuff kind of all back together, because we have the design agency where we build and manage websites for people. But we're building this component library, which is going to be something that people could use to help build their websites much faster. And we're also going to start getting into like the educational space and teaching people how to build websites. But I want to bring it all together, and that's kind of what did I say today? What we're going to do today? Oh, we're going to plan and design on components. Yeah, it's interesting. There's kind of lots to talk about. But Rolando, welcome. How you doing today? Hope you had a great weekend. Good to see you, as always. I do need to make those comments bigger. And I actually tried to do that the other day, but I couldn't, because I can only do it if there's an actual live comment. Which is kind of interesting. I wonder if I should just take care of that now. Anyways, I'll just talk about what I said I wanted to get done today. So let's just take a look here at Figma. So just real quick here. So I have, how can I zoom in here? That's not great. Okay, that's looking pretty good. So here we have the Figma file. So everything's done, at least in terms of the basic building blocks that we're going to need in order to have a, let me move this over a little bit, to have a really, really good style guide. So we have our headings here. We have our paragraph. We have our colors. Whether all these colors are going to be what I'm going to add onto the actual style guide for the whole component library, that remains to be seen, because I think, from what we were talking about on Friday, maybe just having one primary and maybe a secondary color might be all that is needed. But then keep the other ones empty so people can kind of style them themselves. So still a little bit undecided on how that's going to all work out. But either way, I'm pretty happy now that I think that I got the color sorted out. And Rolando, I did go back to the very similar to Webflow colors, which I think work a lot better. They're a little bit more vibrant as opposed to being a little bit more muted and desaturated. Okay, yeah, so we have the colors. We have forms. Hang on a second. The green looks strange, too flashy. The success green, I imagine, because since that's the only green. Yeah, it is a little bit too bright. It's tough to say. I find green to be a pretty difficult color to work with, especially it looks quite different on different monitors. So it's tough to say if we're getting, do you have a calibrated monitor? I'm just curious to know, because it might appear quite different on my screen than your screen. But then again, everything will be kind of in reference to each other. But that being said, yeah, it's pretty bright, pretty vibrant. And yeah, we could change it. The only place that it actually shows up is right here in the success message. So that's the only place that green shows up. So yeah, we might just tone it down. Actually, the whole error, like this whole red, green, yellow kind of thing with the traffic lights or whatever, I think they could use some work. So I think you're right on that. They're not really, they're kind of coherent in terms of how I chose them, but they could be a lot better. So, so your monitor's poor, yeah. Because it looks like they match well on my monitor, but But yeah, it's tough with color. I mean, colors are so subjective. But at least if that's the only objection that you're having so far, that's pretty good, because again, this is like, you're like almost never going to see this, hardly at all. So that's good, and hopefully people could choose their own colors. It's kind of just really placeholders. But yeah, okay. So we have our colors, so we have our forms, and we have the different states for the different forms, form inputs, I should say. And then, yeah, we have input labels. And then I added another state for, I can zoom in here, for the radio and the checkbox buttons. Well, they're not really buttons, but like the input fields. And I just added the state of hover slash, I think if it's focused as well too. So this is just your generic one. And then if you hover over top of it, it'll turn blue. And then if you click in it, it'll give it a nice bigger border, and then put the dot right in the middle. So I like that. I thought it was looking pretty slick. And this UI elements, is actually, I'm actually really excited about this, because I think there's some opportunity to create some components that are quite different from all the other components that are out there, the other libraries, where they're focusing on building elements to build websites. But there's not any place that I've seen that has elements to make actual web applications. And it's kind of funny too, because web applications is the thing that I love building the most. It's just so much fun building an application to figure out how people are going to get a specific job done, or how they're going to manipulate data or whatever, which kind of is a little bit of my strong suit in terms of like my education and the stuff that I've been working on. So I really like that. So there's an idea of building out more elements, and I only have just a few of them here. Actually, there's a whole bunch of other things that I think that I can do here as we build this thing out. But yeah, to have a whole section in Piixel Pieces where it's basically like application components, right? So thinking of different dashboard elements or ways to display data, all that kind of stuff. I think that would be kind of neat, and I don't think the other like the other Webflow component libraries have that. So that might be a little bit of a differentiator that I could have between the competition, which is kind of neat to think. Yeah, so I have these things, and then just the buttons, and just your standard buttons. And this is basically everything that we need in order to go ahead and start developing at least website components. And I think the idea of what I wanted to do today, among a few other tedious things, is to create a list. Like, let's look at what we have so far in our Webflow component library, and then kind of think about the different pieces or different components that we want to build to augment that list, and then come up with a final list of all the things that we want to build for our, like, I'm going to call it the secondary launch or the official launch, which is when I'm actually going to start charging people to access Piixel Pieces. So, and I'm thinking I'd like to have about 50 or so components built. Maybe more. I don't know. We'll see. Brent, how's it going? Doing well. How's everything going? Yeah, we're just plugging away day by day, getting closer and closer. I mean, not really getting to any finish line, but closer and closer to, as I was just saying, to launching like for real, and to actually start telling people about what it is that I'm doing. But going good. Yeah. How's everything going with you? So let's do that. So I think what would be a good place to start? Maybe we could even, I mean, could we stay in Figma? Yeah, maybe we could. So we have all these things, so we can kind of delete this. So let's say, let's say, like we'll have what we have, and then we'll duplicate this to what we need. I should probably actually just use like a spreadsheet for this. It might be a better tool, but whatever, we're in here, so it's fine. Yeah, building brick by brick. Yeah, no shortcuts. Yeah, glad to hear that you're doing well. Yeah, absolutely, we'll keep you out. Glad to hear you're doing well. That's good. Yeah, today's schedule. I was actually thinking about this before I what came live today, was thinking about how I can structure these live streams so that people can know at the beginning what it is that I'm going to be working on, whether I should flash on like a PowerPoint presentation, just like a quick bullet points of like, hey, what we're working on today, or maybe what might make more sense is to flash my Asana. And that's actually maybe a good point to go on to here to kind of talk about. So in terms of specifically for your question for today, decide on all the different components that we want to build in Piixel Pieces for our February 5th 2-week launch date, which hopefully is not going to change. And then once we figure that out, we're just going to start actually designing them in Figma, because what we're going to have is we're going to design them all in Figma. And I know some of them are already built in Webflow, but we want to have the Figma files as well as the Webflow components. So that way, when people, join Piixel Pieces, they can also have the Figma files if they want, just as an added feature or bonus or whatever. So a couple people have been asking about that. So that's like, well, might as well do what you guys are asking for, because you guys are, hopefully my, for the most part, my like target audience, right? So that's what's on schedule for today. And did that comment pop up? I think it did pop up. Yeah, I do want to change like these comments when I put them on. I feel like they're really small, very difficult to read. So I'd like to go into this code and just revamp these. But that's a little bit, I don't know if that's boring for you guys, but I'll do that towards the end of the stream. So I use Asana to basically track everything that I want to get done within the company. And this might be a good thing. I've done it before, but it might be a good idea to do it again and to figure out all the different. Oh, sorry, what am I thinking? I kind of lost my train of thought there when I saw this comment go come in. Oh yeah, just like I've done this before in terms of showing you guys what it is that I work on, like on a week-to-week basis. But maybe I should do this at the beginning of every stream, or at least maybe every Monday, to say, hey, this is what we want to work on this week. So I'm not sure what might be good. But yeah, it's fine on PC in terms of sizing. It might be small on mobile. Yeah. I think it's safer to say, this is like bigger is better, I guess, for these ones, as long as it's not too big. Okay. Just walked right into that one. Let's just pretend I didn't say that at all. But yeah, it's not going to hurt to size it up a couple points. Oh my goodness. Shake my head on Monday afternoon here. Okay. So here's a timeline of the most important things that I kind of want to get done within the next 2 to 3 weeks. So I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts and feedbacks on this. So I mentioned this a little bit like before, 5 minutes ago, that I'm going to want to create some type of educational material for people that'll complement what we have on Piixel Pieces. So basically, whether that's a course or a bunch of YouTube videos that are all kind of sequential, in terms of giving you this one avenue to basically learn how, like the basics and the getting started with web design and how to build a website and all that kind of stuff. Whether I end up talking about stuff like typography and just all the design aspects of it, then also the kind of code, learning a little bit about HTML, CSS, and then maybe going into Webflow, all that kind of stuff. Whatever, just like if you don't know anything about building a website, this will be like your beginner, intermediate kind of thing. So anyways, I want to put that together. And then it's going to be on Pixels, but I want to have a name for whatever this school is going to be. So I put this thing in here to kind of figure out for what this educational space is going to be called. And I just called it Piixel University now, but I don't know if that makes the most sense. But anyways, I have some options: Piixel University, Piixel Academy, Piixel to Code, Piixel Mastery, Piixel Studio, Piixel Perfect, Piixel Labs, Perfect Pixels, Training Pixels. I'm just throwing out some ideas. I'm just trying to think. So if you guys have any ideas of what would make for a good name to call this little piece of like educational material that'll help supplement people, wanting to possibly at least at the end of the day using the component library. Let me know what you think. I'd like to come up with a name by Friday, but that's just kind of, an arbitrary deadline, because that stuff, this educational material, is probably like 6 months down the road. So So anyways, what else do we have? By the February 2nd, which is, I think that's a week and a half on the Friday, have built all the components that we're going to have when we launch. And then on the 5th, just actually launch. And then a week after that, there's launched the first Piixel videos on YouTube. Those are all the videos that are going to help promote Piixel. It's going to be on this old new Piixel YouTube channel. And that's going to be where I'm going to be publishing content at least once a week. I'm hoping 2 or 3 videos to come out every single week. And they'll just be shorter YouTube videos, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, on a specific topic on web design, Webflow, whatever, right? So the idea is to build an audience there of people who are interested in web design and Webflow to obviously, at the end of the day, help promote Piixel Pieces, right? And then also on that Friday, release version 1.0 of Naked Flow, which is going to be a bare bones Webflow template based on the style guide that we just made, and just have a few pages and a few things that are kind of pre-built so that people can use that as a template to go ahead and start building a website all on their own. So, and then a week after that is release the Figma sketches and components. And hopefully actually that should be ready beforehand. I don't know why I put it like 2 weeks after launch, but just to try to give myself a little bit of breathing room. So that's kind of the timeline for the next couple of weeks, and that's what we're going to be really busy getting done. Brent saying Piixel Mastery or Academy sounds nice. Piixel Mastery. Did I write that one down? I do have that. Okay, cool. I couldn't even remember. Okay. Piixel Accelerator. Okay, that's interesting. Like accelerating your knowledge of pixels. Like I'm trying to think if there's anything using the play on words of pixel, like you're learning how to push pixels, like Pixel Pusher, but but because pixels is all about controlling them on screen, and that's what web design is kind of all about. To another lower degree, like there could be more abstraction for coding with the word pixel, but yeah, I'm trying to think on some kind of clever play on words, which is difficult. Pixel Flow University. The only thing that I'll say about that is I'm trying to keep it to 2 words, but I like the idea of flowing and then into the university, so that's kind of cool. University. Pixel Labs, Pixel Studio sounds like an agency. Yeah. And then we'll just say agency. What is the... Wait, where's my icons? Oh, what just happened here? There used to be a thing for icons. Where's the guy that's sick? Nauseated face. Okay. Oh my goodness. There we go. Right. Agency equals sick. We don't want that. Okay. So, all right. Anyways, yeah, things to think about for me anyways. I don't know how to get the, I can't get the avatars or the emojis into this, the comment section. I got to figure out how to do that to do a little bit better job of, like live streaming. Because I know there's tools out there that can get like subscribers and stuff like that. But anyways, yeah, I need to figure that out. Anyways, okay. So that's what's on tap. So let's close this here. And let's go to, hang on. Zero Flow Hero. What does 0 stand for? There's something, it sounds very, very familiar. Ooh, where are we? I like the flow, like the hero, right? From 0 to hero. Oh, okay. Number 0. Yeah, yeah, okay. But is that what it is like in Spanish? I don't know. I'm not sure. I have no idea. Pixel Incubator might be another one. Could be, yeah. My first thought when I think of that, I think of like startup accelerators or incubators where you kind of go to bake your your agency or what have you. But no idea at this point. It's terrible. You never know what you can get. Okay. So let's go here. And let's take a look at all the components that we currently have. And let's put that against what else we want to have. Yeah, it might be too much startup innovation related. Yeah. Yeah, it could be as well too that's just what my space is. Like I'm going on through this Propel incubator right now and just kind of hearing all those words and stuff that are getting thrown around like every day, and just being in that space all the time and listening to podcasts and everything. It's fresh in my mind. Cool. In Spanish, when you mean that someone is at 0, we mean that they do not know anything about a specific topic. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it makes total sense. Makes total sense. I like it. Okay. So do we need to like? Oh, that's the chat. We need to. Okay, now stop it. Get back to your regular size, please. Okay. Okay, we'll make this one half screen, and let's do this one here. So. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. I think you guys can see that. Okay, so what we have now is let's just say we have 22 total components. So we have, could probably nail this down a little bit. So we have 4 hero components, and we have 5 navigation. I feel like this is too small. Okay. 3 footer. You know what? I could actually probably log in, and I think it shows the actual number beside. Like, who built this thing where I can't see how many are each? Browsers too. Okay, look at me. I'm killing myself here. Okay, there we go. It does that again. Why is this not redirecting me back to the dashboard when I log in? I gotta put that in here. I'm pretty sure I have that in here. Actually, I have my other Asana here. Let's open this one up. And let's put it in here. This is the Piixel Pieces application. All right. Oh, I'm like twisting my... Okay. Improvements. So, redirect user to dashboard when they log in. Okay, so like that's a bug. I need to fix that. Okay, it's not the end of the world. So maybe let's give myself a week to get that done. Okay. So we got that. Okay, so 3 footer, and everything else is just 1, right? Okay, so one of accordion, benefits, blog, call to action, footer. Oh, no, not footer. We already have that. Pricing, review, subscribe, team, and testimonials. Okay, so I'm going to, where's this what we need piece? Oh, can I bring it over? Where are you? There you are. Okay, what we have, what we need. Oh. Here and here. I need to learn how to navigate better inside the Figma layer panel here. I'm really bad at it. Okay, so what do we need? So we want to have at least 50 total components. No, so I did get some feedback regarding the hero section, and that there should probably be some more options that we can have within the hero sections. So this is where I struggle, where when I look at each hero section, I don't know if I could bring this a little bit bigger. What do we have? Let me go just to hero. Like to just update a hero section, and instead of, like, let me just make this bigger. So we have this hero section here, and the idea is, well, I want to change the different text in here, or I just want to have different buttons, and I might not want to have this newsletter, and I just might want to have different items within here. Is that worthy of creating a whole new component just to change the text? But then I think of, what is the purpose of Piixel Pieces? So this is where I might be coming around in terms of my thinking. Is the purpose of Piixel Pieces is to help you build websites faster. Like, that's it, plain and simple. And if I'm not fulfilling that purpose, then the customer is going to go somewhere else, right? At least if that's what I sell it on, right? And I think that's kind of is what I want to sell this thing on, is that with Piixel, you're going to be able to make beautiful websites, and you're going to be able to do it at the fraction of the time that you would otherwise. So I think we need to throw in some more, but the idea is to figure out how exactly we're going to do this without compromising our principles, in that we want to make sure that we're not just taking one component and moving a couple things around and then making that into 10. You know, like, oh, we have 10 components, and like, hey, access our library of 1,000 components, and 10% of them, or not 10% of them, like 50% of them are just slight different variations of other ones. So a dark mode version. Yeah, I definitely do want to do a dark mode version. I put that on the back burner to put that afterwards, because I think that's going to be quite a bit of work not that I'm averse to work, but I just think it's for the best bang for the buck for what I need to do right now. I think I just need to come up with my solid list and my solid initial offerings, and then I could figure out how to make them better. And having a dark mode, while really, really cool and really important, I think it's not essential right now at the start, before starting. But yeah, so I see what you're saying, because they're all under a white background. Like, the only thing that doesn't have it is this hero background with a video, but that's just because it has like this placeholder video here, with the squares. And then it's also a thing too of how well designed are these components going to be, in that, is it more like Reloom, where you know, they're kind of unstyled and they're meant for you to go ahead and do your thing, versus like Flowbase, which is like, hey, here's kind of like pre-made components that are pretty much ready to go. They're all kind of they all have different themes or whatever associated to them. So I'm almost wanting to meet halfway, like with what you're saying, is that we have them on the light theme that they look really good, and you know, I take my time to figure out, you know, make good font selections and good font sizing and all that kind of stuff, so that it's kind of almost ready to go, and then complement that with the dark theme, which has the lighter text and the darker background, and then the user can very easily manipulate those colors based on whether they want their website to be a dark site or to be a light site, or to be both. And that also means we have to build a Webflow light to dark switcher as well, which I haven't actually done, but I'm sure it's not too hard. So yeah, point taken. And we're definitely going to, actually, I don't even know if I have that actually put on my to-do list. But let's, is it even on the list? Because I know it's in my mind and I don't think I have it on here. So let's throw this in here. Create dark theme version of each component, I guess. And then we're going to create a dark light theme Webflow switcher. And then we also want to combine that in with into our style guide, right? So add light dark switcher to style guide. Okay. That's to me and that's to me. All right. Excellent. Make sure we don't forget that. So that might be something we might, yeah, I don't, is it? Okay. I'll have to see how much time it's going to take to, it might not be as bad as I'm thinking now, because if we already have the components built, just doubling it up and just switching the colors, that's not that big of a deal. So maybe it is something we could do by the 5th. I mean, I don't need sleep the next 2 weeks. Okay. May I suggest? You could make all the suggestions. Always appreciated. Create a section of your elements, because at the moment you have only sections. If you create elements individually, you could avoid creating X number of collections or of sections with minimal variance. So I think I know what you're saying here. I think I like it. Create a section of elements. At the moment, you only have sections. So I think what you're saying in the component library here, where I have accordion, benefits, blog, call to action, these are what you're calling those are what you're calling elements. But if I create elements individually, you could avoid creating the X number of ones with variance. So, or do you mean like, oh, no, I'm not sure what you mean. Because what I think you mean, and I could be wrong about this, is like if I go over here, actually, let's just make this full screen here. If I go over to like these UI elements, like would you be calling these things, like these are all elements, and even up here, like these are all elements, and then we create those elements and then have those in a huge list where then we'll have a whole bunch of elements, and then people can cut and paste those specific elements? Right. Okay. So currently I only have components. Now create a section of elements button set. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Yeah. I know exactly what you're saying. And yes, I agree 100%. That's what I was talking about earlier when I was saying that I think there's, sorry. I think there's opportunity here where I can have a place in Piixel Pieces that is more geared to like UI elements and these UI things, like you're saying, like there's buttons and there's sliders and there's all the things that you would need in a dashboard or whatever if you were creating an actual application as opposed to a website, because they're like almost two completely different things in terms of what you're going to put once someone is kind of like logged in or whatever. So yeah, I totally agree, and I think that's going to be really cool to have this UI, admin whatever kind of component of Piixel Pieces. Oh, I got to get some better terminology here. Kevin, how you doing, man? Nice to see you. Happy Monday. How you doing today? But yeah, no, 100% agree. So we'll do something like that. Which is what we're doing. That's what we're trying to figure out now. Yeah. So let's write some of this stuff down before I forget. I really should not be using Figma. Okay, we got to stop these tech companies from creating cool design tools that start with F, because I'm just getting confused. Okay, so right. So if we have a light and dark theme, it's still going to be the same number of components. So I don't think I'm going to cheat in terms of saying that those are count as a different component. And the question too is here in the UI is how are people going to actually differentiate between whether they're going to copy the light version or the dark version? I guess if you're on this page, there'll just be a switcher, light mode, dark mode, and then you can just copy whatever version. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. I'll have to think about that. Okay, so back to the hero components. Yeah, so oh man, Kevin, we're just talking about the hero sections and my struggle with trying to not have a whole bunch of different hero sections or components that are very, very similar, and just like moving around a button or adding a heading or what have you, because I don't want to dilute my pool of components. But then also trying to wrestle that with the whole purpose of Piixel, which is to give people the tools necessary in order to build websites as fast as possible. So if you want to have a hero component and you want to copy and paste it, but then you're like, oh shoot, I like, this component here, but I need a subheading and I want a secondary title and I want, a couple other different things, then why am I using your components? Because I'm just going to have to, it doesn't give me exactly everything that I want. So I got to find that balance. And I think that's really going to come from, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to come from what everyone's saying and what everybody wants. And if, just hypothetically here, I have 100 customers and everyone's like, you need to have more components of, navigations because I don't like having to alter them at all. I just want it 100% right out the box. I don't know if that's possible, but then that would make it a case for like, okay, fine. Everyone wants it. So we'll just do it. But yeah, that's what you're saying. The quicker you can copy and paste, then the better. Yeah. So how much does the hero element weigh with background video? And I think you mean like the weight in terms of what the like what the network load is, or how long it takes to load the background image, or is that what you mean in terms of how much it weighs? Then I don't know. I don't know. I know I took a really, really small. I think I made that. Did I make that? Oh, I think I exported it from like After Effects or Resolve or something like that. So it's pretty small. It's pretty minimal. Yeah, okay. Same with having content on left image and right versus whatever. I have to recraft them to make new class names, etc. It's taking longer than needed. Yeah, it's a good point, man. I think that's, yeah. Yeah. I think it's gonna, yeah. Um 1.4 megabytes. Yeah, I think it's pretty well, I think it's pretty small, but I think you bring up a good point in terms of for something like this, to load up something in the background while the image itself is loading, so that if someone's on a slower bandwidth or slower connection, that there's something there in the background that people can see other than just an empty, video player or whatever. But I don't know how Webflow handles that, to be honest, because within Webflow, you just upload the video and then there it is, right? So I haven't done the in-depth analysis on how it actually loads up within Webflow. So I'll be 100% honest on that one. In that, you just kind of throw it in there and use it, and then it's like, okay, well, use your discretion and try to get the smallest possible video that you possibly can in there, because you don't want to. I think they even limit you to 40 megabyte upload for the video, and then I think they probably optimize it behind the scenes. But it's a good point, and you're definitely putting me down the path of making sure everything is optimized 100% efficiently, with the backend code, which is really good because it needs to be. So I'm going to throw that in here actually. Should I put it in? I don't know, so much bugs, but review video upload and how to make sure performance doesn't suffer. And that might be one of those things where that'll be in the documentation for users, where I'd say like, hey, listen, if you want to upload a video as a background, then here are the best practices that you can do to make sure that, you're going to give the best experience for your users. Because at the end of the day, I mean, that's just a placeholder. So it's to give the people an idea of what it actually could be, right? It's not to give them something to use right out the box. So yeah, getting back to this. So one of the things that's in my Propel course, which I think did I talk about this already? Sorry if I'm going over this again here. But the big thing that we're learning right now in terms of validating your idea is doing customer interviews and thinking about how you can make your product fit exactly with what your customers want. And the idea being that you might not necessarily be building something that is going to solve the problem of your customer. And to think of how people spend their money is they're saying, think about the jobs that people need to get done. And then when someone's buying a product, it's like it's like hiring them for a job. And whether that person or that product does a good job or not depends on, how they're going to talk about it or if they're going to continue buying it and all that kind of stuff. So like Kevin, if your job is, I need to hire somebody to help me build websites as fast as humanly possible, and then you hire Piixel to do that, and then every time you go ahead and use it and you have to redo it every single time, you're going to be super frustrated. You're going to be like, this is garbage. Like, why would I use this thing when there's maybe other people or other tools that can do it better? Unless there's something maybe specifically that you just absolutely love about Piixel compared to everyone else. But we don't have that yet. So it makes a lot of sense in terms of like, okay, so I got to get out of my head and say like, listen, yes, you're building tools for yourself and how you like to work. But at the end of the day, you're kind of trying to build something for other people as well. So you need to take that customer feedback into account and listen to the customer's buying journeys and listening to what problems it is that they want you to solve for them, so that you can have a good product to market fit. So yeah. So it's really good for me to keep hearing that and to keep talking myself into it so that I can know that that I need to put my, ego or whatever the hell it is aside and being like, okay, you got to do, like, I don't know, just don't always be so stuck in the ways of like, it has to be this specific thing and then, die on that hill. Right. So, yeah, I know. Yeah. It's very serious and it's really good. I mean, that's where I find too, it's really good for me to, if I like partner, like there's a couple people that I work with quite often on other projects, and they're like the back end guy and I'm like the front end guy. And that's why I find I work really well with people that can handle, other people can handle the back end stuff and I can handle that stuff. And then I don't know, I just work really well with that. And for that kind of stuff, it isn't my area of strength. So it really helps for me to get pushed and to continually be reminded that there's more to, you know, a great website than it just looking good, right? So, or, you know, having good UI. Like, it doesn't matter how good it looks or how smooth the user interface is. If it takes, you know, 5 seconds for every page to load, then it's garbage, right? Or like you're saying, if it doesn't have good search engine optimization and, you know, it's never getting any kind of traction at all in terms of organic search, then, you know, you haven't really built a really good product. So yeah, no, it's really, really good. And SEO semantics, yeah, I have some books reading on SEO. It's really quite fascinating. And like load times and page speed times has a huge impact on how well your site is going to rate as well too. So yeah, there's lots of stuff that goes into this kind of thing. It's really quite fascinating. Okay. So if that's the case, so I will say this. So I'm saying here, I want to have 50 total components, but I could easily come up with, like, even if we look at this hero section here, we have like four different styles, right? One with a background video, one with, like a background image plus the subscribe stuff, kind of these two different whatever sections, and one here that are just left and right, and the other one, I guess this is kind of the same thing, but it's not full screen or whatever. So we can easily take almost all of these and divvy it up in like 4 or 5 different ways. So I could easily come up with, you know, 20 different hero sections just from these alone. So absolutely we can do that. And it won't be very difficult at all to do. So maybe that's what we should do. Maybe that's what we should do. It's not going to hurt anything, right? Like, I mean, they're still going to be high quality, but I think I won't be able to say things like on my site here where, like I have this, right? Quality, not quantity. Oh, we have quality. We have 3,000 components. Like, trust me, it's not about quantity, but we just happen to also have the most Webflow components in the world, right? But seriously, it's not about quantity. And it's not to say, of course you can have both, right? Just because you have a lot of something doesn't mean they're all shit. So I just find it, I guess this is my thoughts, and maybe I got to get on my own head. But if I have a hero section like this, and like to me, this hero basic and hero full, to me, this is the same thing. Like, there's no difference. It's like 2-3 different tweaks to in Webflow, and then away you go. But then, you know, Kevin, to your point, it's just like, I don't want to do that work. Just do it for me. That's what I'm paying you for. So point taken. Rajev, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Not sure who Uncle is or whatever, but welcome. All right. So Rolando, we'll have to touch base at some point, kind of off this stream, because I love your insights are really, really good in terms of all the stuff kind of on the back end, which is really important. And those are like little optimization things that you could probably look to do, you know, like after we launch. Because I know the other little ones that I'm doing, I mean, we're just using basic Webflow stuff, so that one's pretty, they're going to go pretty well in terms of the optimization course. Okay, so I think we could easily go to between 50 and 100 components, maybe even more, to be honest. So I think I think what I'll do here is I'm just going to put in so how should we say this? Create variations of existing components. Which actually I want this to wrap. How do I make this wrap? I think I can. Okay, sorry. Let's zoom this in a little bit. There's a way to make this thing a specific width. Let's make it. So if we make it like 500, or what do we want, 400, and then we want to wrap the text around it. Is that? I think that's this button, right? So create variations of existing components, which will allow, yeah, there we go. But the height, is there an auto height? How do I make the height auto? Can't make it a height auto? Man, see, this is where sometimes Figma, I don't understand what it's doing. Anyway. Kevin knows, though. Oh yeah, Brent. Yeah, you know your Figma stuff as well too. Auto height only works with auto layout. So if I make that an auto layout, oh, can I? Whoops. Stop it. So if I Shift A, so that's auto layout. Nope. But then if I go into this text, is this going to be okay? Is this still going to... Okay, cool. All right, then. We could just... I'll throw that in here. But let's make it a little bit smaller so we can all see. Okay. So, create... Shift A. Yeah, I definitely remember that shortcut key. So I'm learning. I am learning. It's slowly. And I started watching that Figma tutorial that was sent over. So, and there's lots of stuff on YouTube, which is fantastic. Man, getting an education is just so crazy. It makes me wonder why. I think, I don't know if you could see it. I got my stupid degrees hanging up on the wall there. And the only reason I have them hanging up on the wall because it's like, hey, there's $80,000 that I spent and I'm not using it. So at least I got this stupid piece of paper that's hanging on my wall that shows that, yeah, I don't know. Other than that, it's crazy. You just learned all this stuff for free online. It's crazy. Anyways, I don't think anybody wants to hear me rant about higher education. It's not all bad. It's not all bad. Create variations of existing components, which will allow me to make a variety of similar yet different versions. And so I want to think about the user experience and the purpose of Piixel Pieces to allow users to build websites fast. Help them do that. Okay. So other than that, then, I don't think we need to go through point by point then to say like, oh, I think I could do 2 of these or 3 of these. So I think we'll just start getting to work on, I'll probably tonight, I think I'll do a bunch of sketching and sketch out all the different layouts. I'm going to make a whole bunch of them. And then we'll take those sketches tomorrow and or I don't know if I'll start tonight or tomorrow morning or whatever, but then we'll start making them all, and then we'll go the route of doing them in Figma first, and then we'll port them over to Webflow, which would be pretty straightforward to do. And then of course update the ones that we already have, which is going to be a little bit of a pain because the design is going to change a bit, but that's okay. That's okay. Change the height from hug to like fixed height. Fixed height. So it seems to have been working. Also now, see, now it's not on hug. Now it's fixed. So now it's going to be just whatever size I put it. But then if I put it to hug, yeah, then it goes. So I think the height, yeah. So, but this is working. It's got the fixed width, or oh, the height. Yeah, that's what you meant. Yeah, no, that's what you said. Yeah. Hug is auto. Yeah. So sorry, I misinterpreted what you were saying there. But yeah, the width is set to fixed. Change it from hug. Yeah, exactly. No, you're right. No, you're right. I was just looking at the wrong thing because yeah, we wanted to change the width to fixed. So you're good. And you could add padding as needed. Yeah, but definitely no need for this. This is why I said I just wanted to use a spreadsheet for this. Like, what am I trying to figure this out here? Okay, so we're going to do that. So we're going to just review all components and add versions that you feel fit the mold of Piixel Pieces. So, and then I want to have the UI, like the UI components. I'm not sure exactly what to call it. So think like dashboard components, admin, like user sections. What else could you have in like UI things? Could be like, comments, just like user sections or just like lists, tasks. I mean, all kinds of things. I could think of a whole bunch of different things if I spent some more time thinking about it and just looking at what you have in a different, like in admin setting or like an admin dashboard. So we'll take some time to think about that. So do some research. I'm going to put that in quotation marks because research now is just like, look at pictures online. Pictures of apps. Or even just go into specific apps and see what we have. Like you have Asana here, right? Like these little task things and these drop downs and these things with icons and like tabs, like all these elements, like these user things, and like how you have the user buttons and the members, like all these things and like little side panels. These are like all usability elements. Well, we already have kind of the search, but kind of like search bar, like app headers. There's all kinds of cool stuff we could build. Like even this one here that I have, like the little breadcrumbs. Like there's so many things. App headers, user accounts, breadcrumbs, crumbs. The question that I say about this though is how often are people using Webflow to build applications? I mean, obviously I am. I guess obviously, but do other people? And I've heard from Webflow, looking at the things that they've done in their web conference and their web conf, whatever they call it. And I don't know if it was this year, it was probably the years prior, but they were talking about how they're using, I don't know what backend system, but they have some backend system where people are developing applications outside of Webflow, but then they're just porting in all the data into it and just using Webflow as managing their the front end design, and then they could actually use it in different staging and whatever environments as well too, which was really, really cool. So if people are using Webflow for kind of those really cool like web app developments, then there might be a market for people being able to get high quality components for their dashboard. So that would be kind of cool for the application. Okay, so that's good. Is there anything else? Is there anything I might be missing for components that you guys would want to see in Piixel and think that I should have from when we launch here? So if you do, let me know, because then we'll build them. We'll build it and we'll design it. Right. Yeah, we could definitely get, I mean, we could get really high on this number really fast, but I definitely want to be careful. I mean, do I need to be? I don't know. We're going to figure this out. Yeah. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Okay, this is going to be good. I'm excited. I'm excited. Okay, I think one thing that I want to do now, which is kind of silly, but kind of something that I want to do, is I want to, sorry, I'm just going to take a comment here that we had before. So this content to me, whenever I post up a comment, I feel like it's too small. So let me see if I can bring it up. I think, where's my source of my comments? So this is just a little bit of a live stream kind of usability improvement. So let me look at, okay, here's the local source of a comment. So let's see what this is looking like. Okay. So if I go here, here's where the comments come in. And maybe what I'll do is, I'll just make a test comment, just so not everyone's just looking at, I don't know, looking at other comments or whatever. And then we'll see if I could just real quick increase this here. What am I thinking? What am I doing here? Okay, there we go. So there's a comment. And I think if we go into, so if I go into here, this is a little section in OBS where I basically have to take this code here, because what it's doing is it's taking this as a source and then it's sticking it in OBS. So there's this custom code here. So let's go into, I just want to increase the font size, right? So I don't want to do anything too crazy here. Let's bring up a code editor and let's get a new file. Oh, come on. Okay. All right. So I do need to actually change the font because that's not my font anymore. But that's okay. I think what we want to do is, or what I want to do, and sorry, I know this is kind of boring. The only reason I want to do this now is because I can't do this whenever there's not like an actual live stream going on and not even a demo stream, which is really annoying. So I kind of have to do it while I'm live. So I do apologize about this. If you're not wanting to see me code a silly like live stream like message. So I'm going to, I just need to see what the hell's going on here because I totally can't remember. So this is message. So font size. So let's just increase this to what size? So what does it look like? Let me bring it up here. All right, we also don't want it too big either. Let's try 60. And then our line height, maybe about 68. And then the name, 52. So let's go 64. Okay. So if we take that, I don't know if this is going to actually go right away. I hit OK. And okay, it does update automatically. There we go. That's not bad. Accept. And let's put, I gotta put a margin on here, on this name. And I think I can, can't I? It's got margin 0. Margin top. I should be able to go margin bottom. And everything is in pixels here, so let's go with pixels. Let's go with 10 pixels. And we'll throw this in. Oh, did I closed that. All right, paste. That seemed to have not worked. Why didn't that work? Simple container, content bar. Let's try that. Open. Just take this, paste that in, hit OK. Okay, there it goes. That works. The only thing I'm going to do, I'm actually going to make this a little bit bigger. Make this a little bit smaller. Right. Okay, I like that. I'm just checking that out. Okay, perfect. That looks good. That looks good. All right, that is all I wanted to do. Although, where's the image itself? The image PFP height. I want to make sure that that's actually the minimum height as well, because I thought maybe in some of them it got smaller, so I want to make sure that that doesn't happen. And oh, sorry, I didn't show the code. Let's go here. Paste that in. And we have one more here. Paste that in. Save. Okay. Okay, that's easy. That's all I wanted to do there. So that is done. And if we look at, let's just go to the timeline again here. Okay, so we'll chew on some of the names that we're thinking for our educational platform. The building the library, I think that's just, we're just gonna need to do this and just get started on it and get ready for launch. And all these other things we can kind of worry about. This we can start building as we go. And this is going to be, we're going to design everything in Figma anyways. Kevin, are you still here on the stream? If you are, quick question is, for all the different variations of a hero, so just as an example, say we have 30 different hero sections. Would you want to have the Figma file for each one of those 30 options? And just each one of those 30? I would imagine yes. So my gut is telling me, yeah, just build them all in Figma. But let me know, because that's just what I'll do. I think that's just what we're going to do anyways. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I think now we just gotta plug away. So we're gonna take what we have here, and then we're just gonna start building, and we're gonna build like mad. So my homework for tonight is to start sketching out some more components and some more things that I want to build. And then we don't have to think about how it's going to design wise, because we already have the colors and the typography and everything, and we just need to lay it out. So it's going to be pretty monotone in terms of at least working in Figma. So that's really good. And one thing I want to say here is Figma. I mean, just type in Figma here. Do I need to purchase Figma for this? So it's like, can I log out? I don't know if this is going to log me out in my desktop application. So I just want to look at pricing, because I'm not sure exactly how this works. So free, what do I get for free? 3 Figma and 3 Figma Jam files. Unlimited personal files, unlimited collaborators, plugins, and templates. Okay, so if I have $12 per seat per month, so it's going to cost me 12 times 12. It's going to cost me 144 US. So it's like 200 Canadian. Unless I'm an educator. Hey, everything is included, plus unlimited Figma files, unlimited version history. That's probably important. Shared and private projects. Advanced prototyping. So what do you get for advanced prototyping? Like, what does that mean? Introducing dev mode. Dev mode in Figma makes it easier to move from design to development, and it's free until January 31st, which is not long. Prototype sharing, audio conversations. Okay, sure. Oh, that's cool. You got branching. That's really cool. That's really cool. It's like, what are you just throwing it in like a Git repository? I wonder if that's what they're actually using on the back end. And if they just keep all the information within a Figma file in like a JSON file, and then, they just store it on some kind of branch. And then, yeah, that's just how I would build it. But what do I know? I have no idea how they're doing it. So set variables. Create prototypes with variables for more dynamic interactions. Conditional logic. Expressions. Okay. Webhooks. Okay, don't really need that. Password protection. Yeah. How can I adjust who has that? Okay, interesting. Fig jam. I'm not sure what that is. Co-create anything. Yeah, this is really cool. Consistency. We could probably do stuff, variables for headings. Yeah, I think we'll purchase this, or we'll purchase this, as in I'll purchase this, and I think this is going to help us really. I'll learn a little bit more of the ins and outs of Figma. I mean, I'm just going to get better the more and more that I work on this, and yeah, and then we'll just design. I guess we'll keep it all in one file. Like should every component be in one file, and like just have one master, like Figma file? I guess that makes the most sense. I don't know. What would you like? A lot of you guys know Figma a whole lot more than I do. Should it be that every component have its own? Yeah, I think it needs to be. Makes sense if it's all in one file. But then again, no, I think it does. Because if you make any change in any of the variables, then you want to make that change wholesale to everything, not just whatever's in one specific file. Yeah, so we keep it all in one file, unless it makes sense at some point down the line to separate them out. Like, all the navigations are in this file, and all the headers and all the whatever hero sections are in another one. But I don't think that makes any sense, and I don't see any use case where that would be beneficial. No, I don't think so. I don't think. Yeah, okay. So we have our plan of action, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get started on this ASAP. So yeah, I'm going to leave it here for today. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining and helping me kind of work through all the stuff in my head in terms of what's going to be the best course of action for what components to build and how many I need to build as well. So we're going to get started tomorrow in Figma, just designing all of these components. And tonight I'm going to just sit down with my sketch pad or whatever and draw out all the different components that we're going to start with. I'm probably not going to get every single one of them done tonight, but at least the ones that I know that we're going to work on tomorrow within Figma. So we'll just try to handle them from, I don't know, if the top of a website or down, like the headers and all that kind of stuff. I'm not sure. We'll just figure out what's going to be the best way to go. But yeah, either way, we're going to plug away, and we're going to try to maybe get all the designs in Figma done this week. And then next week, we'll put them all into Webflow and into our component library. And then, I don't know, and release them? Something like that. So it's going to be good. So thank you for joining. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate all the supports, all the comments and the likes and the subscribes. It's awesome because I know we're getting like over 300, like 340 or something like that subscribers, which is super humbling and super awesome. So thank you so much, each and every one of you. Really appreciate all the support. And tomorrow is actually the 1 year anniversary of going live every day or every weekday. So that's going to be fun. So we'll actually have to do something maybe a little different tomorrow for that. So I don't know. Stay tuned. We'll get to that tomorrow. Until then, have yourself a wonderful, wonderful evening, and I will see you here again tomorrow. Oh, last comment from Ryan. Yes, take care. You got it. We'll see you. God, I snuck that last one in. Awesome. We'll see you tomorrow.